Hey guys, ACairconditioner and welcome back for more Genshin Impact Archon Quest. Last time we started the Interlude chapter, Inversion of Genesis, and Garmush successfully pretty much just deleted himself from history, or his identity as the Balladeer and Kubukimono. And to make sure this doesn't have any lasting effects at all with everybody else, just like it did to Paimon, we're going to Inazuma and seeing exactly what happened. Well, we know this could be changed, but hopefully this doesn't mess up anything else. Because Kaidaha, the clan's fate as well, was pretty much destroyed because of his existence. So what does this mean now?
We made it to Amenoma Smithy!
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokuden. Could you tell me that story one more time?
No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths
Wait, 5 distinct traditions?
their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
I don't know if that's the same or
Most
not.
of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline.
Okay, this stays the same.
For a long time, only the Amenoma
But the Raiden
branch
Gokuden
kept
itself,
its
what
art
happened?
alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art.
Wait,
Now, 2 clans remain of the original
that's not what
Gokuden
happened.
5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh yeah, we were! Paimon remembers
But
that
he
now.
didn't, but
We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a shame.
okay, so the Raiden Gokuden did come to a decline, but what was the reason this time?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you.
Okay, just tell me what it
It is
is.
a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Who?
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace.
Okay, so the Tatarasuna incident still is a
One
thing.
brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pet anger and shake
this is
the very
definitely
foundations of
different,
Inazuma's
right?
forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to
Okay,
catch
so
them
this is the
unawares.
confrontation on the beach.
They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were
Yeah,
the
though
lucky
this is
ones
different.
under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. Looks like the Balladeer did something enormous though. But it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuo recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Yeah. So he still exists. And he's still the same Kazuo I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feel last night. Thanks. That's all. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
The Yashiro Commission. I haven't seen Aika in a while, and Aika and Ayato in a while, so... Dance of Destruction. That's really ominous, actually.
We're here! This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Ma'am, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato these days?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending
So how did the
Kamisato
Kamisato clan change actually?
Occasionally paying visits to some local
Because their fate was also
organizations
changed
on the
by
Commissioner's behalf.
the Balladeer's actions.
As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although, he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Aito is still the Yashiro Commissioner. Aika is still the lady of the house. No changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro Commission either. I was suspecting as much. But still, it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Well, got any more questions?
That's all for now. Many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that.
The current state of affairs between Coswell, Ayaka, and Ayato are still the same, but the situation has slightly altered.
Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems
Oh.
so thrilled to have you as a friend.
Okay.
And she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home,
Oh, Toma's still here too,
always
okay.
joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most.
Okay.
Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet.
I don't know what else to say for this right now.
whose company they enjoy so much. So, in the future, if
you guys said that, I'm
ever
sorry.
do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you. The people of the Kamisato clan are very dear friends to me.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime.
Really, Paimon?
Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
Tatarasuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
So, I guess Naoto's position has not changed. The parents have still passed away. But, one thing that's still not confirmed yet is the Kamisato clan. Do their backgrounds still have controversy? Because that's something that should not happen at all this time around, right? Savior.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in Paimon?
Xavier? What are
Oh,
you
Xavier.
doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about the Tatarasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you know that? How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Go on, I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either.
Who
It
was
done
that?
back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long
Wait.
way. How about that?
Two nations. Mechanic, huh? Looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a kabuki mono connected to the Tatarasuna?
A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have.
So then it
I do know
disappeared.
the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
Whoa. So there's no more kabuki mono. Did the Balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thank you, Javier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Or Xavier, sorry.
Oh, you're most welcome.
I'm dumb.
More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
Time to go back and see Last Lord Crystalnali.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Alright. Thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Alright. The Kabuki Mono's finale. So nothing really changed except for his specific involvement. So basically everything that Kabuki Mono would have done, right, has been replaced by something else entirely. Hasa's fate has not been changed that much. Ayaka and Ayato's fate have not been changed that much either.
It's them.
And you two.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Are you still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are.
If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Perfect. These two have researched Tatarasuna's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article they let me read last time was great. Can I read it again?
Huh? Oh, of course.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is different. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentioned the word outsider. It should be known the appearance of such character, who was suspected to be based on a real person, is a very curious case. The fact that the attention of the researchers to delve further, eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A foreign mechanic once visited Tatarasuna. Reportedly, the reason for his immigration was to exchange knowledge and to forge ties with the locals. However, the mechanic seemed to have behaved suspiciously, often wandering around the essential restricted areas. As someone tried to turn him away, they would only hear incomprehensible mumbles from his lips. The mechanic often stared into the furnace, seemingly to check on his condition. Unsettlingly, Paul spent a substantial amount of time watching the local residents. Judging from the era, it was not common to see cross-cultural exchanges of technical knowledge in places such as Tatarasuna. After traveling across the tides, foreign experts being welcomed in the region was likely not unreasonable either. That calamity came not long after this exchange of knowledge, which has had high potential causation between these events. However, some current residents believe that the assumptions were merely the results of their forebears' overreactive imaginations intended to theorize how things actually unfolded. The mechanic. This is the doctor. Long have I delved into many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still mentions the mechanic was scarce in the aftermath of the Tatarasuna incident. I speculate over that instead of the mechanic's possibility of being a figure woven from over imaginations. He actually did exist, and perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in the Tatarasuna. The scar which exposes this person right here.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
So the yellow ones are the altered text. This is the same. This is the same. This is different. So Escher's rule was exposed here. Stranger form mechanic. Yeah. So the eccentric stranger, right? Kabukimono is pretty much just replaced by the mechanic. That means the person responsible for all of the downfalls. So all the events stay the same except for the cause of it. Not Kabukimono, but the mechanic. So all the events stay the same. So and that is pretty much the truth though, actually. Right? Because it was mechanic, it was not the Kubikimono's fault for the deaths caused by the furnace. It was the mechanic, Dottore's fault. He basically just got exposed. A second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. This is the truth right here. Wow. That's what they changed it? He replaced himself with Dottore. Content has changed. another effect of tampering with the information in Irminsul. The Balladeer said he'd erased 2 of his names. If he really succeeded, it must have taken all of his might, but still.
Well, what do you think?
Masterpiece!
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Wow, so many new details.
That's interesting,
Thank you so
actually.
much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
And you know what's a really interesting thing in this reality and the other reality? So, Dottore's actions caused the death of Niwa and Scaramouche to face the betrayal, and that betrayal was the spitefulness that he had the entire time that inevitably caused the downfall of Raiden Gokuden, and to an extent, the Kamisato clan being pretty much in controversy, with the Kaidahara clan being in downfall as well. But that was Scaramouche's resentment caused by the Dottore's manipulation. So in reality, the Dottore is the true mastermind behind everything in the Inazuma. And in this reality, it's the exact same thing again. It's that this time the Dottore gets out. This time the Dottore gets exposed rather than Scaramouche is being falsely blamed.
Yes,
That's
yes,
crazy.
Okay, point taken, you were right.
That's
That doesn't mean
crazy.
I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it.
So nothing really
These
changed,
guys are
in
really
my
into
opinion.
this.
It's only exposed the true mastermind behind everything here. We've got some things to take care of now. Bye for now.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
Welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Now, let's see what Nahida knows. No Scaramouche here this time, just Nahida by herself.
Nahida, we're here. Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up, and then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer.
Balladeer?
You don't know him as well.
Sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even Nahida does remember, just like last time. Any change to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that are erased. Once again, I'm the record keeper.
Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. Wait, are we gonna tell her about everything? There was one named the Balladeer, created by the Electro Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. After a series of events at Tatarasuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans, only a learning for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength. Then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis, and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind the betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past. But how was he even able to do that? As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently.
Oh.
I don't recall finding anyone inside.
So you do remember the fight,
defeated it.
but
Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world? Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it.
well,
The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no
you did it
information
too.
about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it? I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm really not sure. We're enemies after all. I don't know his perspective in all of this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him the answer. I hesitate because I witnessed Greyloy work with the Vata erase her own existence. I can't tell Nahida that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work. I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
I just feel empty.
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yes.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left. Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah. He changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to the tragic end did not be saved. What exactly do you want to fight back against? The betrayal in this life? Or did he wish he never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
What?
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us. What is it? A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
And wait, there's almost a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself. Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
Is this a backup?
Combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else. Hold on. So this record survived from the past? Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabukimono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must.
That was your last minute. That was your last ditch effort.
That's incredible! What a great idea! And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the Balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends.
Aw.
The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree,
Why a
who
fox
had been
though?
abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless,
My God.
and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed.
Oh.
Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin."
The monster is the Dottore. The kitten is the Balladeer.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together.
The little
but
bird
little
was
bird did
the
not have long
kid.
left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world
The
could
moon?
only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful
Why
and
the moon
content.
specifically? Why is the moon represented
I
by
will
the
become
divine?
the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will
It's
know
because
that there were once birds,
Kusanali?
foxes, and cats
That's
in
why?
this world. And no one can know
Moon
that
represents
they were
godhood?
different. We solved it! I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture.
Wait, Nahida,
And
so you
the only
remember?
reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered. It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke. The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful,
Also, Nahida does
he
remember,
helped
still.
you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world.
Right.
We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
This is ominous. Huh. Am I really gonna join the Abyss Order by the end of the story? Really? That's how you're gonna end the traveler's journey? By tempting her to join the Abyss Order? Huh. I never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around, but still...
Yeah,
Paimon
you didn't
doesn't
like him at all,
the way it
Paimon.
ended that much better.
You absolutely
This is
hated
why
him.
Wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along. Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later. Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head? You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
That just makes me wonder what would have happened to if Lamine had a companion like Paimon. This kind of shows that Ether is just that Ether or whoever the player is, technically me. So in this case, I am very lucky because of Paimon. Because imagine what would have happened if it wasn't for Paimon and we just kept on facing through these depressing memories again and again and again and again and again. Being the only one who remembers it. And no one else to properly share it to. Just imagine that. Except that has happened to someone before, probably. I mean, I can only imagine what would have happened if Lamine had a companion like Paimon. I specifically said a companion like Paimon. I know she had a companion before named Daneslov, but it's not the same.
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing. Something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, it's just... Give me a minute, I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain, let's stick this out. Gotta be in there somewhere. Was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Greater Rukatavata, Forbidden Knowledge, Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Greater Rukatavata said that no one can erase himself from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation unless Lord Kusnali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Great Lord Rukatavata. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There
Oh!
seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Balladeer!
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss.
You...
I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That guy is the Balladeer.
He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted.
You don't have a vision on you.
I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful
You
you agreed to
completely
take on an
changed.
outsider like me.
Oh, Scaramouche,
You're
you
welcome,
did.
I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo.
I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am.
Wanderer.
We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetius, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
So he doesn't even have a vision on him at all. But his attire completely changed. And his attitude as well. Ow.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetius? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Gosh.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Ah, guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
Really,
You've
Paimon?
been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right. We were following you.
Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Alright.
Then let's return to the city.
This is weird.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.